whole wheat bread. All right, this is a sourdough. I'm converting this recipe into a sourdough. As you can see, it's got a hard top on here. It's still good. Now, for those of you who wish to make this regular way, you'll need 1 package of dry yeast and 1 1/3 cups of warm water. All right, and you'll mix in a bowl 1/4 of a cup of yellow cornmeal and 3 cups of bread flour. All right, let's see, anything else am I missing? And 1/2 cup of whole wheat. Now I'm at the point of putting this together. I'm going to add water to this. I'm going to add the salt. These are the ingredients that you're going to have to add with everything that I just gave you. All right, how much salt do we want for this? 2 teaspoons. Oh, that's got a lot of salt in it. A little bread. So you're going to take, for those of you making a regular loaf, you take 1 1/3 cups of water, add a tablespoon of honey and 1 package of yeast. Let it set to give it time to let you know the yeast is live. It'll start foaming, and that's when you will know. All right. Mine's alive. I worked on it yesterday. So now we're going to add, you're going to be adding, like I said, your flour mixture is 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/4 cup of cornmeal, and 3 cups of bread flour. You're going to start adding it when your yeast is activated. This is only going to make 1 loaf. But this is for the ragu sandwich I want to make. I'm not making that today. I'm making the bread today. Good morning, Richie. This is the part 2 of making an Italian whole wheat bread into sourdough, but I just read off the recipe if you just want to make it plain Italian whole wheat bread with regular yeast. And as soon as I get this set up, I'm walking into dinner for today. All right. Well, we've already done that. Okay. Now, if you're making regular bread and it's not sourdough, you're going to knead it for a bit. Then you're going to set it in a greased bowl, cover it, let it rise till it's double, and then you'll be at the point where I am at. I know I am a bit early this morning. My cat was very sick this morning. Had dry heaves. You know, I'm giving him everything he needs. There was food last night, but he must have been really, really hungry from the heat, and it got cool enough, and he tried, and he couldn't get enough food for the night. You know, prophecy had stated that America will become an isolationist, and that Europe will unite. Russia and America will become friends. China will go on the march. And it does talk about the Muslims as well. Girl, Dad? Good morning. Haven't seen you here. You're new. Unless you were just standing in the background and I didn't see it. Because some people come on and they don't say anything. So for those of you that are making it the regular way, do remember you have to knead it till it's smooth and elastic. Grease the bowl that you put them in. And Juno, I talk about things, if you like it or not. It's not politics. I just talked about prophecy. You don't like it? Seems you don't like prophecies. Talk about nice, pleasant things. You're running your dough the more you speak about politics. Oh, my yeast and I think alike. You don't have to worry about that. Thank you. Thank you, girl. I didn't know. I should say girl, Dad. Juno, just leave. Nobody wants you here. Can't face the truth? Truth is very ugly. Thank you, Richie. He's not welcomed on the page. The channel, I mean. I say page. It's supposed to be channel. Okay. Now what do you want? All right, we need a baking sheet, and we need to sprinkle it with cornmeal. Okay. for those of you that are making this the regular way, when it doubles, punch it down, knead it a little bit, and shape. We're going to be shaping it, but you need a baking sheet with cornmeal on it, which is going to protect it from burning. Okay, how big do you want this to be now? You want a rectangle. Okay. Oh, this is going to be easy to do. Just going to finish kneading this in. Hi, Patty, Mario, Brian, Juju. Because I have a roast I have to cook today. And my cat was chucking this morning. He woke me up. He had dry heaves. I have one cat who has a very sensitive stomach and another one who has a slight heart problem if he doesn't get those 2 amino acids. And the one with the upset stomach, it's fur balls are his problem. And so I made their food more nutritious than what it is, and given him the grass that he's supposed to have, and he upchucks with that too. He just loves hair, so I had to buy a special brush that can get the undercoat. And he now, if he has any upchucking, it'll be a tiny fur ball, in spite of all the brushing I do, and or dry heaves. So he got me up at, what, 3:25 this morning. He was very sick. And because he sleeps in the bedroom on my bed, he jumped off and started in. So I did what I had to do. Get up and take care of him. About 12 inches. About 12 by 5. That's what you see me pad up. Hi, Popeye. So you have the watch at what time I get up, Juju? I don't remember seeing your name that often up and running. I know my regulars who talk. Okay. We gotta get dinner. That's going to be taking hours. Hi, Sarah. Popeye. Now this has to rise for how long? For me, they say about an hour, but it's sourdough. It might take longer. Sourdough takes longer to rise. Okay. Got that going. Sesame seeds. Okay. Sean, what did you eat?
What?
What did, oh, you ate. Sorry. That's something I put here. Now see, they don't like waste. Why did they throw these out? We used to save these, and if they were damaged, we had to pay for them. Now they say just throw them into the trash, and they say we're cutting back on our trash. Metropolitan area does not know how to cut back on its trash. They get a false sense of security. First they tell you can bury your compost in the backyard, if they even give you a backyard. Good morning, Sarah, and nice to have you on. Hi, Popeye. Okay, we've got this going. We've got to wait for this, and then we're going to finish that up, and it's got to rise, so that can sit there. I got to get the other recipe. Ooh la la, the Paris, la roti di pot di quatre. Oh, I know you're speaking French. You're saying I am blowing this. I know. Jerez de Frederic Anton. All right, this is Frederic Anton's 4-hour roast pork. Now, you want to know why I get up early? This is why I have to do things like this. 1 pound pork loin roast, bone in, do not trim fat. Well, I bought it, but they trim it. There's nothing I can do about that. Well, you said I could use a Dutch oven, which we're going to. Now, I know I'm going to cook this roast, and I know it has a bone in it, but even though I cook that roast, when we're done with it, I'm going to take that bone and throw it in with my bones, and then I'm going to cook that bone down so there'll be no waste all the way around. And I will cook that with the other bones until all the minerals are cooked out of it. All right. So let's see, it's 4 to 8, 9. This will be done about 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. All right. Oh, yeah. So 4 pounds. Yeah, just a little over 4 pounds. So we'll rinse this, clean it up, and get it going. You say, why do you clean them? Well, if you sit there and watch what goes on in the butcher's store, you know why you clean your meat. Yeah, I hope it is. I've never made this recipe, but it sounds nice. And This woman is from France, I think. Or either she's here and she brought her cooking skills here, so we're just trying them, you know, different ways of doing things. Yeah, Sandra, keep this close at hand. You'll never know. All right, we're going to be using, they want sea salt, white pepper, and thyme. Sea salt, they say sea salt. I think it's kelp that they're talking about. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say, oh, absolutely. You know, I could be wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that. All right, what do you want me to do? Heat the oil. All right, they want 4 tablespoons of olive oil put into your Dutch oven. I've got to make some more oil. Leave this out. We've got to make oil today. All right, you have 4 tablespoons in your Dutch oven. Put it to the side. All right, they want pepper all over this. And they're talking about a lot. So I'm going to be busy for a bit. I can't use coffee, Sarah. Thank you for the idea. I have an allergy against the caffeine. As soon as I have coffee, my blood pressure skyrockets over 200. But I thank you for sharing the idea. It's just that I can't have that. I can try it with my tocino when I get a French blend, which is chicken root, and I'll try it that way, okay? But I cannot do coffee. But thank you for sharing that. Anybody who can have coffee, try it and let me know how good it is. Cooking shows should always be like that, sharing ideas. You know, recipes. You know I'm sharing a recipe. You're getting some that come off my head right away, and then other ones I work on, or I'll change a recipe around, and I'm notorious for doing that. This is the only thing I hate about these peppercorns. Thank you, Sarah. You know how to get in touch with me, don't you? I have a post office box if you find it. Would you like my post office box so you can send it there? Okay. Okay, get paper and pen, and I'll go get it. I have it on the refrigerator door now, and I'll give it to you. Yeah, I love sharing them. Okay, Let me know when you're ready, Sarah. I'll rest my wrist while you get it. I share recipes all the time. Okay. America's Home Cooking in care of Sandra Hunt. Wisdom, please. She's getting my address. I'm giving her time to write it down. America's Home Cooking in care of Sandra Hunt. Post Office Box 30102. This is in Staten Island. I told you I was on the outskirts of New York. 10303. Sarah, oh my God, you're right up there. Upstate's beautiful. Okay, this recipe says 2 sea salt to taste. Okay. Oh, you live in Florida now? Okay. Hi, Emily. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. What are you doing down in Florida? You like hurricanes? I grew up in Texas. You know, I went in the opposite direction. And what happens, we have a hurricane up here called Sandy. I said, what did it have to do? Follow me? I used to hate that time. I hated hurricane season. Up here, I like it. You want to know why? The rain. And then I know cold weather's coming behind. Circling, okay. I even give my ideas away of how you can eat more nutritious as well. That's why everything I have, I'm going to try to make it more nutritious. You know, that's just me. That's what I'm going to do. Because I know the only thing we really have in life, when you think about it, you can lose your home, right, when you're still alive. But if you got your health, and you can keep sickness away, you know, it's all that we've got. Yeah, Emily, I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so we did this. I guess it's time for us now to light that stove. Nope, we got to put thyme on it. Sorry. They're talking about 2 teaspoons of thyme they want you to sprinkle all over this. Well, I've never listened to exact measurements when it comes to seasoning meat. I should. You'd think I would learn that I should. But I always add more and do what I want. Okay. Well, they left me to decide how much salt. So I guess 2 teaspoons, maybe a little more. We have 4 tablespoons of oil. Now I think we can light our Dutch oven. Yeah, they say use moderate heat. So when you hear the word moderate, they're talking 350 degrees like in the oven. So medium. So they do not want, and I mean do not smoke this oil. I have one son who likes high flames, and I said, You can do that with curry, you can do that with Asian food, but you don't do it with other food. Everybody has a different temperature to cook those flavors, and he has to learn about them. Okay, Sarah, listen, you be safe. Enjoy your day. Hello, Mr. Han. Did I do anything this morning? No, I was dealing with a sick cat this morning. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. Okay, we're going to need 2 carrots, 2 onions, 6 clove. Hold on, I'm reading. 2 ribs of celery. Just letting you know what we need. Oh, you're going to this stupid new language. I hate that. All right. Let's see, I got the carrots, I got the onions, I got the garlic and celery, 2 ribs. Now, for those of you that don't really cook and know what you're dealing with, this is called a stalk of celery. This is called a rib of celery, just one of them. Okay? We need 2 ribs. Getting there. I'm not going to waste the time. I'll probably use it. Okay. What's good with peanut butter? Celery stuff? Yeah. Also with deviled ham. Cream cheese with caviar? Yeah. You want them in chunks? Oh, you have to have everything finely chopped? Okay. Now, why did I throw that out? That looks like broccoli with cancer. See, celery's supposed to look like this. This is not old, but you see how that is? You see that? That's cancer. You have to be on your toes about stuff like this, because your health depends upon it. This celery grew, it's not the healthiest. So I'll cut open and see. You don't have to agree with me. I don't like this one. I'll get another one. I know it's on the same stock too, and that bothers me. Oh. I saved these either. We're going to brown the meat on all sides in that oil. That's what we're doing right now. Don't use an extremely high heat because you'll burn the seasonings on it. And that's not what you want. carrots, peeled and diced finely. Oh, somebody was eating this one. Oh, I don't even know what it even wrote. Thank you for watching out, Richie. So good. Garlic you want? 6 garlic. We got 2 onions, 2 celery, 2 carrots. We want 6 garlic. If you have small garlics and they're not plump, you're going to have to add more. This takes a lot of garlic. Alright, smash them so I can peel them faster, that's all. Oh, I thought the onions would do it. These garlic are really plump. They're really talking when they say plump, really fresh garlic. Oh. Okay, we'll get, I just took it off the heat because it's done. I'll show you how nice it looks in a minute. I've got to finish chopping this before we go much further. And the garlic we're mincing up. For those of you that do not know what mincing means, it means very finely chopped. See why you don't? Hi, Nana. No, I'm just braising. We're not cooking there yet. Hi, approved. Alex. It's 5 o'clock right now. All right. Now what they want you to do, because I was only browning this, Nana, it didn't make sense. I already told them put the oil in and put it on a medium heat and slowly brown this. If you have the heat high, you'll burn the seasonings that are sitting on it. That's why they said a moderate, which is approximately 350, but you can adjust your flames accordingly to that. Now, what do you want me to do with this? Discard the fat. Okay, we're going to discard the fat that's in the pot. I cannot bring you over for this. I can only twist you because I am not. Try not to. Well, let's say I'm going to try not to throw you down. Why do I think I'm going to burn myself? Because I'm prone to it. Now, before you put this back on the heat, they want you to wipe that pot out. And I know it's 350 degrees because I had it on heat, so I'm going to use a lot of paper towels. Try not to burn myself while I wipe this out with the oil. Okay, now we'll see what... All right, now they want you to put this roast back into this pot that you've wiped out. Okay, bone side down. Well, I got 2 bone sides. We'll just keep it on that side. Okay. Want a large, heavy dude? Okay. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter in this pan. One, two, three. Rocket, Sandra, rocket, rocket, rocket. There. No, I do not. All right, this recipe is using a new modern terminology called sweat, and my bread is ready. Oh God, I'm getting a little behind. All right, for the bread, we're going back to my bread, I'm sorry. I'd like to say I got this down, but I don't. I am dealing with pork right now. I am not dealing with beef. This is a pork roast. All right, for the bread, 1 tablespoon of water. Okay, we need the whole egg. All right, you need 1 large egg and a tablespoon of water. For the bread, remember that, please. I'm going back and forth between 2 recipes. We're going to beat the egg and the water completely up. $450, set your oven. Okay. Cancel. Okay. Okay. Turn that way down. Okay, you can see my bread has risen. Hi, new Alex, Carl, and you wonder why I get up so early in the morning. Where's my sesame? Take your time. I've got to get this going. This is how they want it. Heavily seasoned with sesame seeds. Now you're going to make 3 slashes on this bread at an angle, like a 45-degree angle. But do not go deep. If you cut it a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 of an inch, you're going to notice it's going to spread and break apart. You're just using it for design, so you just barely cut into it like an 1/8. Okay? That's all you have to do. Very gently. You don't have to treat this bread rough or anything else, okay? That's it. Now, all you have to do is wait till it gets to 450. Now we go back to the other dish. You're saying, yeah, I'm doing a lot at once, okay? notebook out of the way and we'll move you over. Ooh la la. I got you over here. Add your vegetables in here. Add some salt. I have to make more salt. I am really just running out of it. Now we are sauteing it. Sauteing is pre-cooking it before we put it into a dish. Want to put a lid over this. We are not going to sit there and brown these. We're going to cook these in their own juices under a very low heat. And it's going to take about 10 minutes. We're actually pre-cooking them, and that's what we're doing. All right. So we're just going to leave that alone. This is a pork roast we're making, not a beef. And we're making bread at the same time for tomorrow. And they want bone broth, so I'm going to go get my bone broth. Go get one and I'll be back. I have it in the closet. They want chicken stock. I'm using bone broth instead. Savine? No, I don't look like that lady. I look like myself. So I use bone broth. Now that's every bone and every combination. This one looks dark, so I think I have more beef in this. I don't think it'll go bad with the pork because you will make meatloaves with pork and beef. And those two combinations go well together. So I think I'll be all right with it. I don't have sprigs of thyme, so I'll probably be just sprinkling more thyme into the broth when we're ready. Okay, Terry. I thought I looked like myself. All my life, I've looked like myself. Yeah, I did my ironing yesterday in the heat. I had a friend who, she said it's so hot. I do it in the garage, open the garage door and the back door. She said I get a breeze. I said, really? Oh, and I have limeade still left. I can enjoy the limeade. Reason you put a lid on it, on your vegetables with the salt's going to draw the fluid out of them and the steam is going to cook them. And look at that nice buttery flavor as well. I don't have a lid, so I can okay, the bread's got to go in. It's doubled more than it should have. All right, we're going to bake it for 10 minutes. And then we're going to sit there and turn the temperature down to 375. So I've got to clock 10 minutes, which will be 27. Yeah. And the vegetables in it will be done about this. Good morning, Snacky and Terry. Isaiah, good morning to all of you. We have a few minutes. This is where I'm going to do some dishes. There's nothing to do. We're actually at a standstill for like 10 minutes. We're going to take care of the bread. And by then, the vegetables should be sauteed enough. We're going to use the term sweat, but understand, just convert it into saute, which means you're just pre-cooking them. That's all you're doing. Today we've got Italian bread coming out for a ragu sandwich I'm hoping to make tomorrow. And we've got a pork roast today going. Got vegetables in it, and I have bread that I made, so we can have the bread that I have, so I don't have to worry about a starch or anything. It's already done. So that's what we're doing. It's a lot, but we get it done. And why was I up so early? Like I said, I had a very sick cat this morning. He had an empty stomach and was very hungry. I know their illnesses now as they're getting older. It's cropping up. So I know what I'm dealing with. Amber seems to have to eat all the time. That cat he's a gourmet cat. But I knew they would come up with problems sooner or later. They went a long time without showing their medical issues, but taking care of them now. So today we'll be brushing them and giving them a good brush today to get more any undercoat pulled off with him. He can't handle it. Oh, that's no fun. Snacky, how did you do that? Or is it arthritis? Oh, thank you. My son got it for, he worked at ShopRite for a while, and he got one of the signs that said, I love local, to support the farmers. He doesn't work there anymore, but I didn't feel like doing much, and I said, shoot, that's what I have to do. I'm just going to put this on. Oh, that's bad, Snack. You're not going to see much, but I'll turn you so you can see it if you wish. Let me get a few things out of the way so I can get you over there. Okay, this is it, just like this. With a lid on it, that's it cooking right there. We have to wait. Why did I get the carrot? Because they're the ones that would take the longest to get soft. Okay. Here's the pork roast. We've got the pan out. See, kitchen's not big enough for me. All right, how much bone broth do you want? 2 cups. Now they say 2 cups of chicken stock. For me, I'm going to do it with bone broth. I think it would be better, and I think I get better flavor. That's my personal opinion. Well, we have a problem. Well, I have a problem. I have my bread in here, and my bread's going to have to cook before I can do this. Cancel, bake, 375. Okay, how long does it have to cook? Okay, they want this to be in the oven, and they want you to add more time. Sprigs of it. I don't have that, so I'm just going to do it like that and cover this. It's on a low flame to keep it hot until I can get it into the oven. So that's where I'm stuck. Okay. 45 minutes, 27, 37, 47, 57, 7, 13 after. All right, so 13 after the hour, I can get that. Thank you, Jay, and good morning. Okay. I'm stuck at this point. I have to wait for that bread to, this is where I need 2 ovens, I need 6 bread. I'm not lying, I really do need this equipment because I do a lot of cooking. But I have to re-rack this whole kitchen and I don't have the money, so I make do and I'll have to wait. I'm gonna have to let this wait so I have it on an extremely low heat. Now tomorrow, I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow. Should I do it tomorrow morning? I don't know. I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to show you how to, we're going to do a come cook with me. We're going to be making cornbread. A lot of you buy instant cornbread and you don't realize how easy cornbread is. Now this is, I've had a lot of cornbreads, believe you me, I do not like corn muffins, I do not like cornbread, but I finally found a recipe that I like. Now this recipe can be converted into muffins, which is really nice. So if you use this recipe, they tell you if you're going to, make sure you grease your muffin tin and you fill it 2/3 full and bake it for about 20 minutes and they should be done. All right, but this is cornbread, but it can be converted into that, all right? What you're gonna need is a 9x5 inch or an 8x8 inch baking square pan. You're gonna need to grease the pan, so you'll probably use Pam, shortening, butter, lard, whatever you have. You're also gonna need yellow cornmeal. Yellow is sweeter than white. Now you can use all-purpose or you can use whole wheat. That is your choice. If you use whole wheat, do remember you have to keep it in the freezer to keep it fresh. Other than that, it does go bad. You're going to need sugar. You're going to need baking powder. You're going to need salt. You're going to need eggs. You're going to need milk and corn oil. Believe it or not, you can use vegetable oil if you wish, but when you use the corn oil, this is sweeter and has more of a corn taste. So whenever I make it, I always try to use corn oil. Don't always have it, but if I have it, you can bet I'll be using corn oil. I'll have to check and see if I have corn oil. I don't even remember. I haven't looked at my oils yet. So we'll probably be making this tomorrow afternoon to show you how to make it. Now, for those of you that like to get experimental with your cornbread, you can sit there and dice up jalapenos and put it with cheddar cheese into the cornbread batter and see how it comes out. I might make that. That sounds really good. Okay, and they said if you make it like that, serve it with chili. I make polenta. Well, we could have cornbread. I'd love to put jalapenos and chili. Yeah, that's autumn. That's Halloween. I'm already thinking that far ahead. Okay, so I go that far ahead. So that's what we're going to need with a Come Cook With Me Wednesday afternoon, probably anywhere from 2 to 3. If you have subscribed or joined, you will know it because it'll go ding right away. We're experimenting using Come Cook With Me. I have it at level 3, but right now we're just going to see how it works to let you know, okay? So right now I'm at a holding. Literally, I'm being held right now. I can't put that in the oven because I don't have a second oven, and the bread's got to cook first until after the hour. But you have to, cornbread would go nice with this, but I have bread I don't need anymore. What is it, Kathy? Oh. Okay, so sorry, there's nothing else to do until we get a few things moving, except do dishes, which I've been doing. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, if you have a drain board and you stack the dishes, we used to learn, our parents, especially our mothers, taught us how to stack them so they can dry. If you weren't drying them and you didn't have time to dry them, we learned to stack where everything drains, so they pretty much dry on their own. My sons have not learned that trick yet. They'll learn soon enough. A lot of people think cooking is just putting food out. It's not. It's a whole lot of other things as well. Thank you, Jay, for the blessing. Don't fall. Okay, let's see if I can get this. You will notice when you make sourdough, it sticks to your pans when it does that rising. You have to soak the bowls to get it off, and you might need a spoon or something to help scrape it off. But it's so good. How can you complain, you know? You know, when I was little, as much as you don't want to hear it, when you did treason against the country, do you know what they did with it? They shot you at a firing squad. Then I remembered when I was a young adult, they started just throwing them out of office, but they kept the money and everything. No, before they lost their life. You had to be a patriot to this country. If you're not a patriot to the country, and you do treason. They kill people for killing people. What about the people who do treasonous things and sell our secrets out to foreign countries and stuff? I think we should go back to it. I think we really should go back to it. If you're found treasonous, make it public. People will learn their lesson. They gone, learn today? AZ, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. I speak English. I don't speak guttural, and I don't speak chopped language. People didn't break the law as much because they had public hangings. Young people saw it and said, see what happens if you don't listen to the law? See what happens if you become a traitor to the country? You need laws like that to keep people in line. You really do. That's why we weren't babies. Our asses covered. We learned. This stuff we learned in government. I wish people would speak English. Well, they'll learn. When they get tired of drying dishes and stuff, they'll learn how to stack them. My brother couldn't do it either. I guess he finally learned in old age. You know? But when you do dishes by yourself, and you're washing and drying, and your towels are soaking wet, you sit there and say, there's got to be an easier way. Of course, women don't know that. They have dishwashers now. They dry the dishes and wash them for them. AZ, okay. getting it done. It's getting stuff done. Once I get that bread done, I'll tell you what to do with the roast, and then I'll let you, take off, and that'll be it. I'm just gonna get that bread out. That's it. God, I can't believe I'm really getting dinner done. Pretty good time this morning. This should be more than enough bread for us. I finally figured out how to make 5-grain bread. Took me a while, but I figured it out what they did. That's the next one I want to make is 5-grain. Yeah, my mother didn't teach me. I learned because I got tired of having to change 2 towels drying dishes. Because I would sit there and do that, and then I was just tired one day, and the next day I woke up and there was a lot of water on the dishes because I didn't stack them properly. So I said, look, it just came to me that, look, stack them this way if you want to sit there and not have to do that much drying. And it worked, and I've been doing it ever since. My sons are quick to tell me, I know. Okay, you know. They're finding out they don't know a lot in the kitchen. So there's a lot that goes on in the kitchen. When I'm dehydrating and canning and cooking at the same time, this kitchen is very hot. I have to remember everything, and I usually have, if I'm doing sauerkraut, I have that in the dining room. If I have sourdough rising, that's in the dining room. I have food sitting around the house until I get it all done. But there's some things they don't know, but they're good cooks. They are really coming along. I just have to remind one to calm down and the other one quit using such high heat. I said not everything needs a high heat. I'm going to take them into baking so they can, bake things if they want something so they don't have to buy it. Okay. Now the reason I have the meat on is because it's all hot. I want to keep it hot until that bread is done. So I have it on the lowest flame I can possibly get it on. And it's just staying warm until I can get it in the oven. And then we'll continue cooking it and do what we have to do. Let's see, today is Tuesday. Yeah, I'll leave the water in the kettle today. Okay. Wait till you see how the roast is. That'll be interesting how that roast comes out. We're just waiting. Now, some things you learn on your own. I wasn't taught everything in the kitchen, all right? Some things I've actually learned on my own. because I had enough under my foundation of cooking. I cook different than my mother. Well, she had me in the kitchen, and Julia Child, and also James Beard, and Adele Davis, and the ARE. All this is accumulated to the way I cook today. As I learned one thing, I was learning something else as well. Now, each one had their own points of view. Like I could tell you how my mother liked her vegetables. She liked them cut in chunky pieces, and then what she would do, she put some butter in a pan, put a clove of garlic, mince it up, put it into the butter, let it saute for about 30 seconds. She threw the vegetables in, then she would throw some water into it, put the lid on, and cook it like that. And she cooked every vegetable, I think, that way. That was her way, but that's not my way. I do it differently. She didn't use stocks, she used water. When she cooked rice, she had a big pot of water, salt into it, and then she'd throw the rice in, and you see the rice just bubbling and going around, and then she would sit there and get a strainer, and she would strain it in the sink when the rice was done, and then she would serve it. This is how the people taught her, and that's how she cooked rice. I don't cook rice like that. I cook it in a little bit of water, and I learned a different way, and I cook it with stocks and other things to make it more nutritious. Yes, you can give a foundation to your child, but your child will take off and either add or take away or whatever they want to do. There's nothing we can do about it once they're an adult, but while they're in your home, you could drill it into them. They'll get the message one way or another. You know, like they said, I know. I love it when they say, I know, I know. Oh, okay. You know, Mommy's starting to burn. Well, I told you. You didn't listen. One of my sons said, I know how to brown chicken. I know. I said, you know. He said, yeah, I remember everything. He had been out of the kitchen 4 or 5 years. Well, when he went to do it, he ruined the whole dish. And I said, do you know? He said, no, I really don't. I said, that's right, you remember that. Sometimes you gotta let them fall on their face. You know? What? Did you fall on your face? Is there food for you and your brother? Oh yeah, you still have food. So you can show them, but it doesn't always work. So when we went to the hunting camp, I had to learn from my father and my mother because I did not know how to do that kind of cooking because it was a wood-burning stove. I remember we had these little doors. You know, you have an oven, a big door, right? You just turn the flame on here. Well, with a wood-burning stove, you have around this, the whole thing is cast iron, first off. I might as well tell you that. It's a heavy mother. It has feet on it, and it sets high off the ground, so high so you can slide your shoes under there to dry if it's raining outside. No taffy. So what happens is that when you open the 2 circles of cast iron, they have a special thing, they hook it because it has a hole on the side so you can pick it up and move it. And you look and you see a tray sitting in there. Well, you can put those back on. There's a little door and you pull the door out and that's the tray. And what you do is make like a little fireplace in each section, and when you put it in there, it's right. When you pick the holes up, that's the little fireplace right there. You can see the wood stacked up right there. And next to the stove, you had paper. They would wad paper up really, really tight. My mother also bought really long matches. She didn't like getting burnt. The oven is pretty much the same way, but it's temperaments. You have to play with the stove. But that was interesting what I saw. And cast iron, I love the way she said, how do we clean? My thing is how do we clean this? She got a dustpan, pulled the tray out when it cooled, just dust it all off. I said, oh, I like this. This is the easiest way to clean. That was my idea. But that's how it was, cast iron, and it was heavy. Women were not weak like they are today. They worry about being very petite, you know, and everything else. But those women had to. It is. AZ, it is. But it really floored me just how easy it was to clean. But those grids are cast iron, and if you have cast iron pots, you know how strong you have to be. So you had to pick these things up, and you couldn't grab it. It wasn't a handle. It had a little hole on the side. It had this funny thing that sort of went like this, and you hooked it in like that to pick it up and move it over to the side. And that's how you did it. And the pots we took were cast iron because it was a cast iron stove. We brought cast iron because when my mother brought the lighter weight stuff, she was burning it, so you need the cast iron. Women were not weak then. They're weak today. They really, really are weak. What? And just think they never slowed down. And it surprised me a lot of the things that I learned. But I learned a lot. No, Taffy. No, no, no. Like he's listening to me. No, he's not listening to me. Yeah, they work next to their husbands. So you think about it, a man goes to work now. He has to decompress before he can deal with his family because of all the pressure there. If he was and his wife had an argument, let's say we're going back in time, they're on a ranch. They don't have the creature comforts that we have today. They have an argument, disagreement, no matter what it is. Well, he has to go pound those fence poles into the ground and read barbed wire, probably fix the roof, something in the barn, throw hay and everything else. He's going to work his tensions out and his anger. She has to go in there. She doesn't have the convenience of just opening things and going to the store. No, she's going to have to do everything from scratch. She's going to have to go out into that garden, dig up and plant and do whatever she has to do. Then she's got to go and scrub those clothes by hand. You think about this. Now, she's angry with her husband. Imagine how much tension she could put out on all that. And then she's going to have to get the meat, and she's got to cut it up. And she's not going to have a mixer going, oh no. She's got her hands. She's going to have to work everything with her hands. You think by the time they both got done, when evening time, if they had an argument, I'm sure they had worked all their tension out. They were too tired to carry on, and I'm sure they did not argue like they do today. From tension, from outside, from society, putting pressure on the family, all the arguments we have and everything else. I am sure they did not have that problem as bad as we have today. Okay, it's almost time. I can almost get ready to take that bread out. We've got about 11 minutes. So you could just see it, where it would go. It'd work all their tension out. I mean, if he had to sit there and break horses or haul cattle in, he'd be too tired to have a fight with her. And she'd be too tired on her hands and knees scrubbing floors with a scrub brush of water and having to bring the pails back and forth. She'd be too dang tired. And if she has children, she'd have them helping her. Everybody would be too tired. When they sat down, they would be grateful for the food that they grew, they ate, and the hard work. And as they see their life coming together, I'm sure they didn't have time to drink. They probably would have been too tired. Who needs liquor? I need to get to bed. I'm tired. So I think society has put a lot of pressure on the family, which causes a lot of the fights and a lot of the divorces and everything else. And like they have said, the workforce is set for men who can handle the workforce and the hours and all, because they studied men. They didn't study women, and women are trying to do this workforce, so that's interesting. What, Taffy? I can't see you long distance with these glasses. These are reading glasses. Mm-hmm. No, no more. No, that's it. We're done. No. Hi, Shet. How are you? Hi, Roy. Listen, it's just common sense to think about it. I can tell you, if I sit down and look at my phone, I could kill hours just sitting there and the day goes by. When I sit there and I'll put a program on or a movie or something and I'm working, I'm not watching it, I'm only listening to it, I get my hi Scooby snack, I get my work done. so I can see how the computer and the games and stuff and information and stuff, you start scrolling, and next thing you know, hours have gone by, and you're just like, where'd the time go? It was so hot yesterday, I said, well, I know how to kill time. I'll crochet, and I'll just listen to everything that's going by, you know? And that's what I'm doing yesterday. And I think today is the last hot day we have. I don't know, the kitchen's getting hot now. I'm not sure. I think today's the last day. We're in the 80s today. Yeah, it should be cooler today. I'll be able to get more done today. Hi, Gallagher. Gallard. I'll just say gal. Yeah, I'll mess it up. You don't need me to mess it up. I can kill a language quicker than that. So you guys can, we're going to get ready to get things going. Good morning. I am doing well. Getting a bit warm in the kitchen right now. I have to step outside for a minute. Open the laundry room. No. Come on now. Give me a break. I don't hate you. I just need to get things done, don't you? Yeah, jump that. No! I'm going to read to you what you're going to have to do with this roast, because this roast is good. My next video, I want to make ragu sandwiches tomorrow. I'm working on that. That's what I'm hoping to make on my next one. But the next Come Cook With Me, which is tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 3 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be making cornbread, showing you how to make it so you can come with me and cook. Now, we're going to place the casserole once the bread is done, okay? Because I have mine on hold right now. You're going to place it in the oven with the lid on, and you're going to baste it every 30 minutes. And this is going to continue for 4 hours, so you see why I got up so early for this one. Now, they said just until that pork is falling off the bone. They really want it cooked to that point. Then you're going to remove it from the oven. Take the meat out. And they say season it generously with more salt and white pepper. All right, and you're going to put that to the side, because remember, meat has to sit for like 15 minutes. If you want to put foil over it, do that, you know, to let it just rest, because it's so hot. If you cut it and stuff, it's going to, the fluids are just going to pop out and then it dry out, and that's not what you want. Then what you're going to do is you're going to strain the liquid and throw the vegetable pieces out, and what you're going to do is let the fat come up to the top, scrape the fat off, and that's the gravy that you pour over this meat. She says carve it, but she says it's so tender, all you have to do is use a fork and pull it off the bone. And what I'm going to do with the bone, when it cools, I'm going to sit it in the freezer with the rest of the bones, and I'm going to cook those down. But that's how this is Oh God, that's hot. No, what I saw on my phone, I think it said 80 something. Good morning, Pretty Cat. Scooby, last night, yes, but they said today we should be. You're boiling. I can't go any lower. Oh, shit. You gotta turn it off. It's boiling. That's not what I want it to do. Get it in the oven. Did it stick? Oh, please don't tell me you stuck. That will ruin it. No. So you're going to strain the vegetables, then let that fat come to the top, take it off. Dripping is what you pour over this, and that is it. So this is going to be a long cooking. That's why I got up. I got up a little earlier than I wanted to because my cat was sick, but that's why the early morning getting this started. And that's exactly what you have to do. Okay, we're almost done. Oh, we're going to preheat the oven at 275 to do this roast. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. The temperature for it is 275. So it's going to be 100 degrees below this one for 4 hours. So you can see by cooking it like that at that low temperature, 275, that meat is just going to absorb those flavors. It's going to be delicious when it's done. We just have to wait till we get there. I'm sorry, we have to wait. I just can't move any further. I had to turn the roast off. I don't need it cooking like that. The dude, great, take the juices and spoon over it every 30 minutes. You should have seen me cooking on a hot plate. That was another catastrophe. Yeah, we were in the homeless system one time. I met a fire chief and he came to the room because the first place they put you is in a hotel before they move you to a shelter, and then from the shelter you find an apartment. And I remember the guy, he came and they were taking hot plates from all the rooms for family cooking for their family, but they don't give you enough money to buy food to eat out. So you're in a catch-22 and you have to deal with this situation. And I heard them, and everybody was screaming about what they were doing, but I hid mine. And he came. He said, "Are you cooking in here?" I said, "Do you see me cooking?" And he said, "I want your hot plate." I said, "What hot plate are you talking about?" And he said, "Are you cooking in here?" He kept questioning me. And I, this is how I answered. I said, "I tell you what, I'll answer you this way. If you and your children and your wife were homeless, what would you do?" He said, "I do not want to hear a fire started in this room. Do you hear me?" I said, "As long as I'm here, there will never be a fire in this room." And I swear to God on that and my life, there was never a fire. And I got to keep my hot plate to cook. Because he knew exactly women will do what they have to do. No matter what the law says, we have children and a family, we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure they eat, because they look to us for that responsibility, the children. And we're not going to, I don't think any mother wants to go to bed with her children hungry. Now, I'm not saying this for illegals to come in here and play on our mercy. No, I'm an American and I'm in my country. Oh, you'll find out, Nana. I read the recipe. It's actually a sandwich. I'll read it to you. Some of the ingredients. Okay. It has cubed pancetta. It has onions and carrots and celery, beef and pork. It has white wine on it, beef stock, tomato paste. It has broccolini in it. It has chili flakes, kosher, and shredded mozzarella. Doesn't that sound like a good sandwich? That's just some of the stuff that goes in it. So that's what I want to make for tomorrow. So we'll see how it comes out. It looks like a messy sandwich, but that's okay. A messy sandwich is like a sloppy Joe. You're going to enjoy it. I found another one. Now, I make my own granola cereal, but they want me to make one. And this is a Thanks Mom. It's a granola cereal that has sweet ricotta, and it has plums in it and French toast. I want to make that one too. So that one's got my attention, but I read recipes, and matter of fact, I just ordered 2 more cookbooks, and my son looked at me and said, Mommy, you don't have enough? I said, I never have enough. You see my crafting? I never have enough crafting books either. So I have a lot of these 2 things that I collect. Yes, like you can't get enough into the sandwich, and it's really, really good. Does anybody remember the time I said the bread would be done? Oh, I think it is done. It's almost 10 after. And it's a dark bread, but I think it's done. You sound done. Now you're going to set your oven to 275. We're going to get this roast in. Okay? You're going to set it in and baste it every 30 minutes for the next 4 hours. So this roast will not be done until 10 o'clock. I am really cutting time tight today, because I'm going to have to do what I have to do to finish dinner. Do not leave your breads in the bread pan. They'll go back to dough. When I cut this, I'm going to cut this at an angle, because it's going to be a very messy sandwich. I don't need this. So here's the bread, all done. Okay, so you know what to do with the rest of this roast. I can't keep you on for 4 hours. That is just ridiculous, Try to do it every 10, 15 minutes. Tell you to come back on it. So you know what you have to do. You'll baste it like crazy every 30 minutes. Cook it for 4 hours. At the end of that time, take the meat out, strain the liquid, the vegetables from the liquid. Take the fat off as it comes up to the top, and you pour that over the meat, and that is it. Oh yeah. Our restaurants were the kitchen in the home when Mommy made those sandwiches for us. Yeah. So that is it. And Nana, I cannot I cannot afford a second telephone to do this instead. I am not wealthy. All right. I know you see a lot of good equipment. My husband bought all this equipment through our marriage, which was 40 years. So it wasn't something that happened overnight. Even when money was tight, he would go and buy good equipment because he knew that I would use it and he knew it would last for a lifetime. So if all of you think that I am extremely wealthy, no, I am not. I am like the rest of you, making ends meet. I had to save up many years just so I could get the sidewalk done. Okay? So money does not come easy. We all work at it to get it going. But I cook every day, and why not share the things that I do in the kitchen and give you some education so you can be healthier in old age, okay? So listen, I'm going to let all of you go now. I got to feed my cultures. I've got to do some things in the home, and I'm going to be working on this roast for the next 4 hours, like you, and straining it and then serving it. I'm going to, well, whatever we have is going to be good with it, okay? So listen, take care and enjoy your day. God bless each and every last one of you. Bye-bye.